Hey YouTube, Anthony Journey here. How would you like to be able to deal with problem people and difficult situations better? Well, watch this video and you'll find out a way of how to do that. This one is the first of an ongoing series which I've entitled Finding the Gold. I hope you enjoy it. So, after a difficult or challenging event has passed, we have a chance to revisit this in our minds. Not everybody does this, but we can do this to our advantage. And there's two ways people tend to go. They can either reflect, which is the more positive of the two options, or ruminate, which is not so great. First of all, I'm going to talk about reflection. I used to be a high school teacher. And sometimes I'd get up there and I'd do my class to the best of my ability, and I prepared everything really carefully and taken time, and the lesson bombed. The students hated it. Everything seemed to fall apart. Now, as a practicing teacher at the time, part of what I had to do was reflect. I had to go back to that lesson in my mind, or if I'd videoed it, and look at what went well and what didn't go so well, and then focus on what didn't go so well. So this was a kind of reflection which helped me in my professional practice. Now, what I'm talking about now, it doesn't just have to be about professional practice. It can be your everyday life. And this is especially important for people just like me that get triggered sometimes, and they carry that memory with them, and it's not a particularly good one. Now, this reflection thing, it can be done with good things too. Maybe, just going back to my teaching analogy, perhaps if my lesson had gone really well, I could still reflect on it and think, well, that went well. How could I make it better? By doing this, I could refine my skills. Now, the second kind of looking back at a situation that I mentioned is called rumination. This is reflecting on something but focusing on the negative thoughts and feelings that were associated with that time. That time I asked out a beautiful woman and she said, "I wouldn't date you." I felt pretty stink. I felt rejected. And when I revisited that after the fact, I often felt bad. And I saved that one in my collection of bad memories for whenever I felt depressed. Because I have this thing I like to call the depressive archive. This archive of bad memories. Whenever I used to get into a depressive state, I would ruminate. And to ruminate, as I mentioned earlier, is to focus on negative events and the thoughts and the feelings that went along with them. People that suffer from bouts of depression, I'm not talking clinical depression, but on and off depression, this is exactly what they're doing. They are thinking back to events where things didn't go well, when they felt alone or frustrated or abandoned, these kind of negative emotions. Now that that has been explained, let's move on to the content that I'm going to focus today's video on. Today's case study on finding the gold is based on an 8-minute video by a man. I'm going to have to read his name because it's quite difficult. By a man by the name of Damien Prozelendis. At the time of making this video, this particular video, the details are in the description below, had 22,000 dislikes and only a couple of hundred likes. There's a good reason for this.
Complaining for, I'm living the life, I'm traveling, I got money, and you still play video games? Yes, you are a fucking loser. You're a fucking loser, an idiot, and a moron. You're getting triggered because you know deep inside that what I'm saying is damn true and it hurts you so much. You play video games for an amount of time, you're a loser to a certain extent.
Well, I can't talk on your behalf, but I can say that this guy comes across as kind of dislikable for me. The reason I feel this is he's bragging about how much he has, how successful he is, and yet pointing the finger at me and people, millions of people like me, that enjoy playing video games. What else do I think that possibly makes him dislikable? Well, he's holding a weapon. Well, I think it's a replica of a weapon. And he's speaking with such charge. He's speaking in an angry, accusatory tone. I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there that don't appreciate being talked to like this. Basically being told off by a young man who proclaims himself to be a self-made millionaire.
I hope that there was somebody out there when I was 12 and 13 years old and I wasted my life. I threw my whole teenage years down the toilet playing video games instead of building a life. But if there's one thing I could go back in time and change, would be all the hours I've wasted in watching stupid shit on television and playing video games when I could be out there doing bigger, better things.
The gold, I think, comes from this particular video in the end clip when he's actually looking back at when he was a youth. However, he's doing this, I think, in an unuseful way. As he mentions, I would be doing bigger and better things with my life. The fact of the matter is, he's talking about when he was a young, impressionable youth, maybe 12 or 13 years old. And if the information that another YouTuber has researched on him is true, he's the son of very wealthy parents. So chances are, they may not have been around for him at that time. So this is one area where, if we have it in us, we could try and feel compassion for this guy. When you're a young, impressionable child, if your parents don't have time for you or just give you money to basically make you go away, it can do some damage. Perhaps that's why this guy comes across the way he does. Who knows? He does care. He cares, and he doesn't want other people to waste their time. This is what I'm choosing to take from this. Take whatever you want. It is very easy to just get triggered and think, well, screw this guy. He called me a loser. If you want to stay in that place, fantastic. But I choose to find the gold. I hope you did too. Hi guys, Anthony Journey here. I hope you liked that content. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and that little bell thingy to notify you when I do a new video. Do any of those things, you'll make my day. Thanks a lot.